Hello and welcome back to another edition of NXT Out of 10 on the Wrestle Debate. On today's show, we featured matches in the interim Cruiserweight tournament, and Dexter Lumis competes in the main event of NXT. Show started by addressing the incident revealed on the NXT Twitter account earlier before the show, in which Finn Balor's belongings were ransacked in the locker room. Velveteen Dream cut a promo on Balor. His scheduled opponent for tonight was nowhere to be found. Adam Cole entered the venue and accused Dream of trying to weasel his way into a title shot and said he would never get one. The Undisputed Era attacked Dream from behind. Keith Lee ran in to save Dream, and all the men brawled. The segment ended with Lee and Dream in the ring and the Undisputed Era on retreat. This is not going to get a high grade from me. WWE have got to stop promising us matches that will never happen on that show, like Finn Balor Velveteen Dream. No reason why they should have told us that match was happening except to get a few early ratings. So I'm not impressed by this start. Forget what happened in the thing, because that was alright, but this was just disgraceful yet again by WWE and what's been a bad week in terms of publicity for them, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Our first match was Raquel Gonzales and Dakota Kai against Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox. Raquel Gonzales and Dakota Kai picked up the win after Gonzales pinned Blackheart after hitting a one-armed powerbomb. Alright match, nothing really special, nothing major happened, so I'm just going to give it a average 6 out of 10. This was by far the best segment of the night coming up now. Before it started though, it was announced the main event was Keith Lee and the Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. And then we got onto a video package about Drake Maverick and the Cruiserweight tournament played. It began with Maverick's emotional video response to being laid last week. And then we moved on to the match, Drake Maverick v Jake Atlas, and Jake Atlas won after hitting his cartwheel DDT. Atlas tried to talk to Maverick after the match, but Maverick refused. This was brilliant in terms of storytelling and a good match as well. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Sure, it's emotional. It's just a shame this couldn't take place in front of the crowd, because Dream would have got such a good response. So yeah, it's a great shame. But all of this has led me questioning to whether it is a work Maverick's release, considering how much it was being mentioned. I wouldn't think it'd be mentioned too much, if at all, by WWE if it wasn't. So I kind of hope it isn't, because publicity it would get probably ruin Drake's reputation. So I hope it isn't, but I do think he is probably still on his way, unless he can muster up 2 wins. But yeah, this was brilliant, so I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Our next match was another NXT Interim Cruiserweight Tournament match between Kushida and Tony Nese. Kushida, the favourite, it seems, defeated Tony Nese by submission with a hoverboard lock. Pretty decent match to this, actually. Went quite long, or fairly long, and it was pretty entertaining. So I'm going to give it a, can't decide between 6.5 and 7. Gave AEW a 6.75 overall, so no reason why I can't give this 6.75 out of 10. Next up, we got a whole heap of backstage segments, first of which was an interview with Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher talking about their new partnership. From their dining table, next up, Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae cut a promo about how they've been underappreciated in NXT, and they will be unappreciated no more. And then a video package hyped Io Shirai challenging Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship, and a dejected Jake Maverick was interviewed on the stairs backstage about his tournament loss. That was about it, so I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Did like the Candice LeRae and the Drake Maverick ones. The other ones were just there. Not going to bother grading them, but so I'm going to give the video packages overall a 6.5 out of 10. Just maybe spread them out a bit more in future, lads. Next up, Mia Yim defeated Jessie Kamea. After the match, Charlotte Flair entered and asked Yim if she accepted her offer of a title match. Yim said she would be honoured. Flair thanked Yim for helping make her a star by facing her in her first NXT match, and said she would help make Mia Yim a star next week. I enjoyed more the after segment to this. Charlotte Flair, quality is normal. The match is alright, so overall it's pretty okay, and I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. Next was our final interim cruiserweight tournament match of the night. El Hijo del Fantasma defeated Jack Gallagher in what was a pretty good match actually. Quite enjoyed it. Nothing too special though, so I'm just gonna give it a 6. That might be quite harsh, but I'm giving lots of the 6.5s, and I can't give it a 7. So sorry lads, but I'm giving it a 6. Mia Yim v Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship and Keith Lee v Damian Priest for the NXT North American Championship were promoted for next week. So 2 title matches next week, presuming WWE don't lie again, which I'm very excited for and should give them the edge over AEW probably. And then as we were going to a commercial break, the masked man who had been kidnapping people in the parking lot tried to abduct Phantasma, but he fought them off. This was very strange. Weird gimmick. I'm not really going to grade it, but yeah. And then main event time. Velveteen Dream and, wait for it, Dexter Lumis defeating Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. As the match began, Damian Priest attacked Keith Lee, hurting him enough that he had to be taken to the back. Dream began to wrestle essentially a handicap match against the Undisputed Era. Dexter Lumis appeared on the apron during the match and stared silently at Dream. Dream eventually tagged Lumis and the ref allowed Lumis to compete. The match ended after Dream pinned Cole with a purple Rainmaker for the win. This was pretty good and good to see Dream get the win, and I think he will probably move on to a match against Adam Cole at the next TakeOver, which I'm quite excited about. So pretty good show segment. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Overall this week, NXT is going to get can't decide between 6 and 6.5. Should have thought about this off air. I'm nice, so I'll go with a 6.5 out of 10. Wasn't NXT's best show, but there were still some good segments in there. Drake Maverick segment was brilliant. Just pissed me off about the Finn Balor thing. But 2 title matches to look forward to next week should be good. And the matches are on the show were pretty good, but I just don't think it's quite on the level of AEW this week, so AEW pulls it back 2-1. Thanks very much for watching. Link to Twitter in the description below. My other channels just about to come up now. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.